Let's face it. It is pretty old news that China wants Taiwan. Bad. I assume that what you want is a working computer, phone and working AI. But if a terrible catastrophe were to happen in Asia Pacific, you would most likely have to stay with the same module of an iPhone for a while, and I mean years. Or is that the case? Before answering this question, we have to consider some facts. The Chinese government under Xi has promised to invade Taiwan somewhere between 2027 to 2030. Unification by any means necessary, as they say. Although they have made similar claims in the past, we should not rule out anything. If a war were to break out, a lot of rockets would fly across both countries, destroying infrastructure, and as the war in Ukraine has showed us, destroying most vital infrastructure, such as power plants, damages people and the economy most. As many Ukrainians have to be without electricity for quite some time. Let us hope that war in Taiwan never happens, but if it does, Taiwan most certainly has a hard time developing its super chips, let alone sell them to any consumer outside of Taiwan. So what would happen with the AI industry and phone chips? Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, or TSMC in short, makes 90% of the advanced AI chips. If a major semiconductor company like TSMC went down, AI development would stagnate significantly. The production of AI-optimized chips would be affected, which would slow down AI model training, research, and hardware deployment. AI applications, especially in deep learning and data processing, require advanced chips that only a few manufacturers can produce. And okay, you might be wondering, surely there are other companies that can replace it, right? Well, not quite. The biggest computer compound manufacturers, Intel and AMD, would likely face production delays and supply chain issues if there's a disruption in Taiwanese semiconductor production. Both companies depend on TSMC for manufacturing cutting-edge chips. While Intel manufactures a portion of its chips in-house, it still relies on TSMC for advanced manufacturing techniques. This would cause significant delays in delivering new processors and could drive up prices due to reduced supply. While companies like Samsung and SK Hynix have manufacturing capacity outside Taiwan, they rely heavily on TSMC and Taiwanese firms for cutting-edge chip manufacturing. Broadcom and Qualcomm, two American companies, rely on TSMC for the production of their most advanced semiconductor designs, and SK Hynix and Micron, Korean and American companies respectively, manufacture memory chips essential for AI, but advanced chip manufacturing is often outsourced to foundries like TSMC. This basically means that even if some companies manage to produce chips without the help of TSMC, they are still not good enough for now. That begs a question, are there any plans to rival TSMC? The answer is yes. Several semiconductor companies are making significant investments in expanding their advanced manufacturing capabilities, but challenging TSMC's dominance in cutting-edge semiconductor production is very difficult simply because of how far off they are. Samsung is the most serious competitor to TSMC. It has been aggressively investing in its foundry business, aiming to challenge TSMC in producing cutting-edge chips. Samsung is currently ramping up production of 3nm chips and plans to push into the 2nm and 1.4nm nodes by somewhere between 2025 and 2028. Another competitor is Intel, who plans to overtake both TSMC and Samsung with its IDM 2.0 strategy. It plans to produce chips as small as 1.8nm by 2025. It has widely been considered to be most profitable company.
Intel still holds the crown for the most revenue in the sector, crossing $50 billion in 2023, or 10% of the broader industry's top line. Visual capitalist.
Last but not least is GlobalFoundries, who currently lags behind all three of them, but nevertheless has promised to up its game. All of these companies plan to rival TSMC, so the question is, even if they do manage to overtake TSMC in some areas, would it be enough to prevent the halt of AI development should TSMC stop producing? Well, I hate to break it to you, but even if companies like Samsung, Intel, and others succeed in challenging TSMC in certain areas of advanced chip production, the halt of AI development would be a significant risk if TSMC were to stop producing semiconductors, particularly in the short term.
As an industry, we are always stronger together. Indeed, we see collaboration as our most advanced tool. The designing of multi-die systems is one rapidly evolving area where we see collaboration hastening adoption. Synopsis editorial staff.
TSMC manufactures the most advanced sub-5nm chips, which are crucial for AI tasks that require immense computational power. TSMC has deep integration into the global AI and tech supply chains. Even with competition from Samsung and Intel, a disruption in TSMC's production would create a ripple effect across industries because of chip shortages and production bottlenecks. Even if Samsung or Intel could match TSMC's technical capabilities, transitioning the entire AI industry's reliance on TSMC's production to other manufacturers would take years. Large corporations, data centers, and AI research labs have designed their systems around the chips produced by TSMC, particularly NVIDIA GPUs and Apple's AI-focused silicon. Such an industry shift would involve redesigning hardware, recertifying AI systems, and optimizing for different manufacturing techniques. So in conclusion, in the event of a sudden halt in TSMC's production, the global AI industry would face a severe slowdown. While Samsung and Intel are rapidly expanding their capabilities, they are not yet in a position to fully substitute TSMC's advanced node production in the short term. AI development would experience significant delays, with shortages of critical chips and higher costs until alternative production lines can be established and scaled.
Did I miss anything important in the video? Let me know in the comments and let's have a debate. Thank you for watching the video. You can help me by liking and subscribing, and I hope I somehow made your day a bit better.